All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the lightweight division where Gervonta Tank Davis takes a shot at the undisputed champion of the division, Devin Haney, and says something that I think people should think about, but it's funny, so I'm going to talk about it. Let's do that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we are going to be in the lightweight division where Gervonta Tank Davis should be, hopefully, they say it's done, but we know how that goes, fighting Ryan Garcia to defend. I don't even know if he's going to be defending his WBC world title at lightweight. However, in the lead into this fight, there was a great interview done by the Rise podcast. Shout out to Coach Squeeze, Smoothie King, right back at you. The world's best boxing smoothie maker. I have yet to have an opportunity to taste it though, but very, very good interview, and said something that I thought was funny, but at the same time true, but true of everybody in that division to us too, pretty much to the same extent. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter, also if you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so we can be notified when we release more videos. Okay, so a lot of finger pointing going on in boxing. A lot of finger pointing going on between boxing fans at a fighter that they like versus fighters that they don't like so much, right? A lot of pointing of corruption over here, corruption over there, reasons for why things go bad and it's not corruption over here, you know, reasons why this is taking place and it's not corruption. All kind of good boxing talk. That's what we come to YouTube channels for, to go back and forth about the sport that we love. So why should it be any different when it comes to the lightweight division and the big star in the division, which is Gervonta Tank Davis, and the undisputed champion in the division, who is Devin the Dream Haney? And I don't think that there's any better demonstration or example, rather, in boxing of two of the most prevalent phenomenons that there are and contradictions that there is in the sport, where you have the championship belts and you have the fans. Now, when I say the fans, I mean the money. The fans, the championship belts tell you who each of the sanctioning body has as their champion, right? Who has fought their way up those rankings and proved that they are the best fighter, according to the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO, who the best fighter is in that particular sanctioning body. Not the weight class, though, just that sanctioning body. Now, that is not, there's 4 of those belts, right? And so you would suspect that, or believe that, the best fighter in that division is the guy that has all those belts. Or is that true? Where you have another scenario, which is the fans and the money that the fans bring, because people usually want to go see who they think are the best, right? And boxing is a science. It is an art. It is not a science. If you look at how you see how fights are scored, right? You got 3 different judges. They can all have 3 different scores, right? If it was a science, they would all have the same score. And whenever boxing has been whenever anybody's tried to reduce boxing to a science, they've always failed, right? By putting white tips on on the amateurs, putting white tips around the gloves, and having them literally, you know, whenever you see the white tip touch the skin, that's a scoring point, right? Whenever you see, for example, CompuBox come up with the, you know, who's landed the most punches in the rounds, all of that, it almost always is different than what somebody with their eyes observe, right? So if you just kind of think about the championship belts and the sanctioning bodies in a similar fashion that you would with amateur judging and CompuBox scoring, you kind of see, okay, well, really, if this guy is the champion, is he really the best, right? So in the division, and what if they have 3 belts and not 1? But I digress. I'm saying that to say that usually people who watch fights believe the best fighter is usually the person that they want to see for whatever reason that they see that. So you have Gervonta Davis and you have Devin Haney. Now, in a recent interview with Gervonta Davis, Gervonta took a very, very clear shot at Devin Haney over this and said, who is the guy that is always calling people out but ain't fighting nobody, right? Now, to me, I thought that was interesting because that's exactly what Devin Haney and his camp think about Gervonta Davis. Who's the guy making all the money? And when I say making all the money, I mean not getting paid the money out of a budget. I mean, who's the guy that is bringing in fans and is collecting all of the money, whose fights are making all of the money, generating all of the revenue. And by all, I mean a lot. Clearly not all, right? However, you have 2 guys pretty much saying the same thing. And in my opinion, both of them are equally correct because neither one of those guys, in my opinion, has fought the best guys in that division because people want to say, hey, man, I'm looking to see the best fight the best. Well, who's the best in the lightweight division? Right? Again, that is an art. It's not a science. You can say, isn't George Kambosos the best in the division? He was an undisputed champion. And I'm going to do that again I don't care how many times y'all Devin Haney fans tell me that the WBC doesn't get to decide who their champion is. The WBC gets to decide who their champion is. And they said it was George Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez until Devin beat him. So seeing as that's the case, and he had all other 3 of the belts, you would say, okay, or even if you want to say he only had 3 of the belts, which to me is still ridiculous, but whatever, you would say he's the best. But if you ask boxing fans or boxing experts or professional fighters, judges, and none of them going to tell you that George Kambosos is better than Gervonta Davis. And probably none of them are going to tell you that George Kambosos is better than VASYL Lomachenko. Right? So was he the best because he held those belts? No. Same thing I would say for Hector Garcia. Is Hector Garcia the best at lightweight? No. He may have been the best at 130, but he wasn't the best at lightweight. That was his first time at lightweight, right? And obviously, there's this other part of it. Obviously, they weren't the best because they lost to Gervonta Davis. And obviously, Kambosos wasn't the best. He lost to Devin Haney. So it's all a bunch of talk, man, until these guys actually get in the ring and fight one another. However, I will say this, though, that Gervonta Davis is, I think, giving fans more of what the boxing fan wants to see. And more so than Lomachenko, more so than Devin Haney, more so than Shakur Stevenson. So if you're going to look at it and say, okay, well, who do people really see as the best in that division? Most of the boxing fans, the vote that counts is your pocket. And the guy that everybody wants to go see fight, the one that people are buying his pay-per-views and winning all of his fights, that's the guy that most people would say. And also, you have the entertainment factor and the fact that Gervonta Davis is knocking these guys out. However, for me, I would love very, very much for these guys to fight one another. But, I just don't think that there's any right answer to this stuff, right? This is not a scenario. And I'm trying to think of a scenario in boxing where you really have one guy at this point in time. There's one, Jermell Charlo. You got a guy in Jermell Charlo who is undisputed and literally did beat everybody in the division because he won every one of those belts in separate fights, with the exception of the one fight where he beat a unified champion and got 2 of the belts at one time against Jason Rosario. But other than that, he basically cleared out that division. Devin has not cleared out 135 pounds. Gervonta has not cleared out 135. Errol Spence Jr., I think, is a good argument to say that he it came as close to clearing out that division as could be expected, seeing as Terrence Crawford didn't want to fight him. But all in all, just very, very interesting conversation. I love the back and forth. I ain't gonna lie. I like the little jab here, the little jab there, because at the end of the day, man, I think it's probably doing well for both of those guys because it generates conversation and all that good stuff. But, you know, I don't think either one of these guys have really solidified themselves as the best guy in that division. And I don't even know if that's really going to be capable of being decided because Devin Haney's more than likely going to move up. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, thank you so much for your support on the channel. And with that, I'm out. Oh yeah, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.